I'm Vijender Mogli, and I'm representing Balvikasa International Center. So today's session is all about social entrepreneurship talks, which I've been conducting through Balvikasa International Center as a social entrepreneurship wing. And today we have I'm very happy to actually uh, get onboarded Swostik, who is actually very good with product design and reiteration, and he has been successfully launched his social enterprise. And he's been doing, I mean, like, even though there is a COVID situation, like, he's successfully running his business and have been successful. And it has been very, very helpful for elderly and physically challenged. So the products the three products which they have actually uh, designed are very, very innovative and like very user friendly. So, just quickly wrap up with the introduction of my organization. So, it's a 4-decade-old organization which been working with community development, driven development programs. And the first initiative is CDDP, which is basically that. And the second vertical, what we have is training of professionals, NGOs, and multiple national and international level trainings we provided to development professionals and CSR and different corporates. So the third initiative, what we have vertical is social entrepreneurship and responsible business. So these are the three verticals which we work. And currently we are Warangal-based organization, Warangal headquartered organization. And currently the Hyderabad is a campus. In that case, we have a huge campus, 20-acre campus, which is basically the infrastructure is built to drive social entrepreneurship and responsible business initiatives. So as a part of the same social entrepreneurship thing, we are conducting these social entrepreneur talks where we are actually inviting different social entrepreneurs who are successfully launched their products and like successfully done a lot of impact and created more than visible impact or like very much possible impact. So high impact social entrepreneurs have been invited to social entrepreneur talks, and then we are actually sharing their knowledge and their experiences, their critical inputs on different topics. So as a part of the same, so today what we have is a role of product design and reiteration of the product design, and then market validation is something what we wanted to have you all learn about it, and we are here with Saurav today. So Saurav is typically comes with that expertise. And to keep very short about Saurav is actually a co-founder and CEO of NeoMotion Assistive Solutions, which is basically IIT Madras incubated startup. And his expertise is basically product design. So previously he used to be a project officer in IIT Madras also, and alumnus of IIT Madras. I mean, like, you can see already. And then MTech product design. And NeoMotion is currently having three different products: NeoFly, NeoBolt, and NeoCare. So these are the three products where I would actually like to have Swastik to talk little more about these things and give a comprehensive understanding about your initiative and your journey. So Swastik, yeah, you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Balvikasa and Vijender, for the wonderful opportunity and the introduction. A very warm good morning to all the participants. Thank you so much for taking time and joining this particular session. I hope that by the end of the session, I'll be able to share something which would be useful and in some way in the journey that you are a part of. So what I will be doing right now is I'll share my screen, and quickly in about 8 to 10 minutes, I'll give you a glimpse of what we are doing, what our products are, where are we right now, probably what we are looking to do and go ahead in future. And after that, we'll discuss the different topics that Vijender just spoke about. And so let me start by sharing my screen. Parvati, you to just enable the screen sharing for me.
Yeah, Vijender, you can. I mean, he's the host.
Yeah, I can share the screen. All right. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. My name is Swostik Dash. I am the co-founder and CEO of NeoMotion. Let me start by sharing stories of 3 of our users. On the left, you see Baljeet Kaur. She's from Hyderabad, 60 years old, has been on a wheelchair for over 37 years. She had back pain, shoulder pain, had difficulties in moving around. Within 4 to 6 months after she started using our product, she could not only rid herself of this pain, but here you can see her participating in a leisure sports. She's doing javelin throw. On the center, you see Kamal, who hails from a village near Puri in Odisha. Last weekend, just last Saturday, Kamal completed the Guinness Book of World Record for the longest distance covered within 24 hours. Kamal completed a 213-kilometer distance non-stop over a 24-hour duration. We work very closely with Kamal because if our product lasts with Kamal for 6 months, we are sure that it will last in the market for 5 years. That's the sort of high demand that Kamal has. And it's fantastic to be part of his journey. On the right, you see Justin, who's a quadriplegic. What it means is he only has gross wrist control. He does not have any fine finger control. After he started using our product, he had to go to the US for 6 weeks. He's a Paralympic swimmer and a rifle shooter for one of these programs. He had to visit there. In all his earlier trips, a caregiver would assist him. But on this particular instance, he decided, now that I have this, I think I'm confident that I'll be able to go and move around and be independent on my own. And for that entire 6 weeks duration, he was independent. He could be there, move around, and he was so happy about it. And he calls it like the Harley Davidson of wheelchairs. So that's what we want to enable with our products, to truly enable lives of people with disability and elderly to live life to the fullest. I'll show a video of our product.
मेरा 2011 में दोस्त के कंधे पर से गिरने के कारण मेरा शरीर पैरालिसिस हो गया था। इस व्हीलचेयर प्रयोग करने के बाद आसानी से हम कहीं भी जा सकते हैं, आ सकते हैं। एक गाड़ी आती है जो कि इस व्हीलचेयर में आसानी से हम सेट कर सकते हैं और गाड़ी सेट करने के बाद हम आसानी से बाहर जा सकते हैं, कम स्पेस में जा सकते हैं और कहीं भी पार्किंग कर सकते हैं और समय का बचत हो सकता है, क्योंकि अगर हम ओनली व्हीलचेयर यूज करते हैं तो हमारी समय ज़्यादा लग सकता है। बट वो गाड़ी जब सेट करने के बाद आसानी से हम जा सकते हैं एक स्थान से दूसरे स्थान, और जो कि उसमें पूरा स्ट्रॉन्ग है, मजबूत है। गाँव में चला सकते हैं, अगर गड्ढे ऊंचे नीचे हैं तो आसानी से चला सकते हैं। अभी हमको कोई डर नहीं है, हम कहीं भी जा सकते हैं।
So what is the problem that we are solving? So every year close to maybe 3 to 4 lakh wheelchairs are sold in India. The image that you can see on the left, that's like the most common wheelchair that is sold. 95% are of this concept of one size fits all. Like all of us are wearing shoes, but imagine if our shoes is of size 14. Well, yes, we are wearing shoes, but is it of any use? Same is the condition when wheelchairs like this are sold. They damage health, they restrict mobility, and they severely affect the self-confidence of the user. When it comes to outdoor mobility, we have modified scooters, we have tricycles, the image that you see on the right. Many of you would have seen it on roads also. But let us put ourselves in the shoes of a wheelchair user. I have to transfer from a wheelchair to a scooter, which is at this particular height. I have to carry my entire body and shift it to that. And after I go and reach my office or school or wherever is the destination, I again need a wheelchair over there. So somebody has to help fold the wheelchair, put it at the back of the scooter, or I need another product once I reach at my destination. So it's a very dependent activity. If you and me, we want to go out, we simply just wear our shoes, walk out of the door. But for a wheelchair user, they have to plan, they have to take help. And if we go out 10 times, they naturally, with over time, they restrict and they will probably go out once in a day. So that's the sort of limitation, the challenge of seamless mobility is what we are trying to solve with our products. Our first product is called NeoFly. It's a personalized wheelchair. There are 18 customizations on it, which are based on the measurements of the body, their health condition, and their terrain and environment where it will be used, which basically means there are 18 different things that we adjust: the seat width, seat depth, backrest height, the type of wheels, all these things we understand the user's specific requirement, and we fit it specifically to their requirements. Now, what is the outcome once we do these 18 customizations? First, we have a great posture. We won't have a back pain, a shoulder pain. Whether I'm moving on a wheelchair or not, I'm sitting on it for 4 hours or 10 hours in a day. For that entire duration, I shouldn't be developing any secondary complications. So that's what it achieves. It gives you a great posture. Second, it's very efficient to propel. It's moved with hands. But for every propulsion that we do, we cover 3 to 5 times more distance as compared to conventional wheelchair, which basically means for the same energy spent, we cover more distance. It's compact in size. Indian houses are small. Our doors are small, our bathrooms are small, our lifts are small. So because of this compactness, a lot more places become accessible. And because of a correct fit, the user is more visible. If on a conventional wheelchair, if I'm sitting on a wheelchair, if you look at me, the wheelchair takes the limelight. It's so huge, large, bulky. You would notice the wheelchair more than the user. Whereas in our product, the user is more visible. Their body language changes. They feel more confident about themselves. It's priced at 40,000 rupees. Products with similar features will be available only in the global market and would be at least 4 to 5 times more expensive. Whereas the products that are available in the Indian market, we are more expensive. But if you do a like-to-like comparison, we are far more affordable. Neo Bold is our second product, which is an add-on that converts the wheelchair into a safe, roadworthy outdoor vehicle, the video that you saw. The user doesn't need to transfer from their wheelchair to any other product. They can simply attach it and drive on their own. It's made for Indian road conditions, can go safely on uneven roads, on sandy, muddy, grassy sort of roads. It's powered by a lithium-ion battery. For every charge, we cover 25 kilometers. So within a range of 10 to 12 kilometers, maybe you want to go to your office or to your school, you can go and you can come back. Neo Bolt is priced at 55, so which is only the add-on. So the add-on and the wheelchair put together, 40 plus 55 is 95,000. It's the price point. What we have been able to do, we have presently 750 users across 28 states in India. So we deliver pan-India. As I said, that we customize every product to the individual user. So the platform that we use is called NeoFit. It's a structured platform by which through a video call and a structured questionnaire, we collect the information from the user. We do their clinical assessment. Based on that data collected, we generate a wheelchair prescription, and that is then discussed with the user. And once they say yes, it is assembled, and then we door deliver it to them. Neo Care is our after-sales service and spare support, because being a product like an automobile, it requires maintenance with time. So anything to do with the tires and wheels can be done locally at a bicycle shop. All other parts are small in size, are modular in nature. We courier the parts. We send a video by seeing which the users will be able to make these particular changes. The multiple channels that we use to reach out to the market, digital marketing, we have dealers. We are tying up with different hospitals and centers. And we also offer financing. A user can buy the products over installments spread over 12 months and 18 months so that the overall financing burden is reduced and spread over a period of time. A team of 27, our manufacturing and assembly is located in Chennai. I'll share with you a few stories of some of the users that are there, just to say that what are the kind of terrain and environment where these products are being used. Here you can see Sumit enjoying his hometown. He stays in Manali, so he's gone to very off-road sort of location. Suresh is a ex-service person. He runs a saplings business. Earlier, he used to go to his farm maybe once a week because mobility was a challenge. Now he's able to go and visit his farm every day and see what is the progress. He's able to take care of his sales. Lakshmi Priya works at a hotel as a cashier and accounts. And after getting this product, she's also started doing food delivery. She enjoys moving around in the city. Parthivan does his country chicken farming. So he uses this to get the grains, the feed, and then also checks the requirement in the market and has the product delivered over there. We have team members who are participating in international sports, so on and so forth. So the key idea is, and one of the important projects that we are working on right now is to use this to create a fleet of mobility vehicles for food and grocery delivery, for the last mile delivery services. We've started it, it's in a pilot stage, so that wheelchair users who don't have a means of employment can now start using it, do food deliveries, and in the process also gain an employment. So the goal is to reach probably 1 lakh users every year by 2025. We have probably 4.5 years available with us. Expand our product portfolio to 16 more products, start exporting, and really ensure that all the work that we are doing reaches maximum impact. So that's briefly about what we have done till now. Over to you, Vijender.
Yeah, thank you, Swostik. Actually, it's a very comprehensive one, actually. I mean, like the kind of beneficiary you have reached is like very, very diverse. I could see country chicken fellow, sports guy, and then whatnot. I mean, like accounts guy. Great to hear that. And getting back to, I mean, like to today's session and like regarding product design and all. So let me start with one generic question. So you have been into assistive technologies, and you started your journey. What actually interested you? Why you started this? And how do you consider this? Like, what is kind of definition of your social enterprise? Do you consider as a social entrepreneur, or like, if so, why? What?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely consider myself as a social entrepreneur. Why I got into this? So my interest has been designing, building, solving something with the skills and knowledge that I have. Basically, I love tinkering and finding solutions. While that was been the interest, I have been inspired and exposed to many of my seniors or different people whom I have met who are running their own enterprises, how they are set up, and how they are contributing in a positive way to society. So I wanted to use my skills in a way by which I can solve a problem which nobody is solving, which is probably neglected. And I thought that if I do, it will bring a change in one specific sector which is not being done. And I probably have the right skills by which I can apply them. So somehow all of these fell in place by coincidence. Just as a part of my master's thesis in IIT, I was looking at, I want to build something. There are a few professors who were working on building something. So Dr. Sujata Srinivasan, who's also a co-founder at NeoMotion, she worked on this particular area. So I entered into this field purely by coincidence. I wanted to build something. She was building products. I built my first unit. We built something called as a swimming pool lift. It was tried by a user, and then I saw this has impact. If we do it, there are some people who really will benefit out of it. We didn't bother much about how many numbers, what will happen, but that's how I was exposed to this particular field. I went out, I worked for 2-3 years. Then I again came back to the research, and somewhere during the course, I connected the dots and say, skills, need, let's start.
Oh, wonderful. So, I mean, like your first product is, can you share more about your first product?
Yeah. So as a part of like in the assistive technology space, I think the first product that I built was a swimming pool lift. There is one single unit which is built and which is still in the proto stage at a lab. We are trying to take it out there. The next product that we built with a larger go-to-market mindset is a product called standing wheelchair. It's called Arise Standing Wheelchair. So I was as a part of the design team for that. My only role was design. We were working with an industry partner who would commercialize it. And this project was through IIT Madras. So during the course of development of that particular product, we traveled across India. We met with close to 200 wheelchair users at 40 different locations. That gave us an understanding of what is the scenario out there. What are the products that people are using? What is the socio-economic context and environment where the products are being used? And from there, NeoMotion was born. So Arise Standing Wheelchair is commercialized by a company called Phoenix Medical Systems. It's out in the market. That's probably the first product which I worked on, which is out there. Then what we started is part of NeoMotion, New Fly and New Bolt.
Today, what we see as your products and products is like very innovative, and like definitely the first product is something currently you shared with us, and like the first product might be more relevant, might not be relevant, or like maybe it is not. I mean, like as you mentioned, maybe commercialization is something which is very, very important to sustain any enterprise. So that inputs, I mean, like your first product design, and like today what you have, is like very evolved, very much evolved products at your hand, and like you have been successfully doing it, and like you are looking at 16 products in the future. So how do you relate? I mean, like how this first product design actually helped you, or like does it really help you, or like not? What is that?
Yeah, so I think what really helped for us to get started was the project that I was working on, the standing wheelchair, what I said. So that gave us the exposure while we were working on a particular, we had a topic and area to work on, but then we interacted with so many wheelchair users, 200 wheelchair users across 40 locations, medical professionals whom we met with. Now that gave us the exposure of what is the real need out there. How we translated them into different action is like, I mean, we see there is a burning need of people being stuck inside their homes because of both the challenges of indoor and outdoor mobility. So we built our first proof of concept, like a very basic, crude first iteration product where it did not have any features. Like let's say the Neo Bolt, which is the add-on. The first one that was built was it just attaches. There is a motor, there is some battery. It won't run even half a kilometer. It won't climb any ramp. It will not even survive for more than 20-30 kilometers. It's very, very crude thing. But we built that and we took it to the users and we say that, try it. The key thing that was there, you are able to attach it independently on your own. That was the key thing that we ensured. Once they do it and they drive it, you see questions, you hear questions like, what is the price? When will it be available? We are sure this is something which is required, because had it been some other way, people will say, you can improve it, you can do it. Yes, all those things will come. But when you hear questions like, what is the price? When will it be available? It basically means that the gap that we have identified is correct. We do this validation, we meet multiple people, and then you try to see that, is everybody feeling the same? Are the kind of questions that people are asking coherent? And that gives us an idea that yes, we have identified the right thing. Then we start making the product more mature. We add features. But that comes next. First thing is the key problem. You being able to go out on your own. And the singular design philosophy that works is being able to attach a drive unit to your wheelchair independently. So that is the crux of it. If you do that correct, everything else will fall. How much ever like we can build something which will go for long distance, but if the user is unable to do that attachment independently and they're not able to go out on their own, everything fails. So we have to identify that single key feature and build everything else around it. Now, how we arrived at the 16 products? Now we do marketing, we meet different people, and then the people keep asking us, can you build this? Can you do this? Can you do this? So we keep listing. We keep listing what are the things that people want, which we don't have. And then we draw patterns in that. We put them in different buckets, that this is the problem for which there are many people who are asking, for which there is not a solution. So anybody who asks us for something, we spend some time to understand the requirement, to get some more details, and then do it. And based on last 4 or 5 years of whatever we have learned, we're able to say that, yes, there is a requirement for this particular product. If we have these features, there is an opportunity out there. So key thing, probably I would say, answering your question, start with a concept. Just go out, spend time with the customers. Don't try to defend that, no, this feature is there, we will be able to solve it. Just listen what they're asking. We need not defend. You can anyway come back and you know that you can solve that problem. So key thing is just take a concept, have something in hand, meet users, listen to their questions, and try to make sense of those questions. Why are they asking these questions? Is this question a good question? Or should you go back to the drawing board and start designing something else?
Okay. So yeah, thanks for that actually. And feedbacks are very important. I mean, like we all belong to social enterprise, and like problem is our center. So we always try to figure out what exactly the problem and like try to build a solution around it. So I mean, like we wanted to get a little more detail on that. I mean, like when you are saying about like the feedback, don't define, and like take a lot of feedback, or like listen to them, listen to the beneficiary. But like when we start listening to the beneficiary, or like when we are actually looking at it, the feedback is so diverse. So I mean, like it is scattered across anything. Like one way it is pricing, one way it is like more comfort. So all these very diverse things are there. So how do you actually like figure out like this is the start point, and like this is like first priority is this, and like let me solve the first one and second one. How did you do that?
So I think we should get back to one single question. What is that one feature that if it has, the product will sell? Everything else is required. Like for example, I have a horn, I have a light, I have an indicator, I have a mirror. So the question that we ask ourselves, if we remove the mirror, will our product stop selling? If it does not sell, okay, that is not something in priority one. If we don't have a horn, will somebody not buy our product? If the horn is not there, people will still buy the product. If we don't have this particular feature, will people still buy it? So you keep answering, this is not required. What is that one thing if we don't have, the product will not sell? I think we have to narrow it down to that. For us, it is the attachment, independent attachment. Everything else, I mean, the battery motor, that is obviously required. I mean, without that, nothing happened. But the key thing is that one feature is required. Everything else will fall in place. So now, I mean, basically, if I have to answer, like we look at things in two things. Will a customer buy a product today, on today's date? And will a customer buy the product 3 years from now? That's how we answer and narrow down everything basis these two questions. The first question is related to the basic minimal things. What are the least number of things that we are offering? And with that, if the customer is buying the product, I think it's a good point to go ahead and start. We can keep adding, we can keep building over time. The question to ask for us is like, if I don't have this feature, will somebody still buy it? If they will buy it, let us keep it, let us park it for the next iteration. The second question is, well, yes, today we're able to sell, but after 3 years, will they still buy it? So that comes to the point of durability. Whatever we are promising, are we still able to live up to that promise 3 years from now? So, I mean, today you have sold a great product. After 3 days, it stops working. After 3 months, it stops working. Nobody is going to come back to you. So bare minimals, work on these two areas. So, I mean, listen to all the points, that everybody has said, because that is important. And when you go back to them for a sales also, you tell them that, yes, all these features are there, but right now I have this. Is this a good starting point? If your understanding is correct, and if the starting point is good, product will go out, because it addresses and solves that one burning problem.
So that interestingly makes me question one more thing, the same. So how long it took you to actually validate the first product, or like
so
in the market?
So there are two products basically. So NeoFly and NeoBold. So we first started with NeoBold. We said we will make an add-on to all existing wheelchairs. Because people have wheelchairs, look, why should we go and start developing a wheelchair? So we made a universal attachment to any wheelchair you take it will go and it will fit onto that. All those wheelchairs broke down within 2 months' time, because they were not designed for the terrain and the environment and the brutality that it was going through. Then, I mean, we didn't think of it. So it sent us back to the drawing board. I said, no, we have to build a very strong, rugged wheelchair, because, I mean, we can say that NeoBolt works, but your wheelchair, which is your fault, and because of which it broke down. But that doesn't do us any good, because fundamentally the problem is still not solved. So hence we get back to the drawing board and say, first we have a full, complete, ready solution, and it is strong enough, safe enough, it will go out there. So this two product development, it took us close to, I mean, the first proof of concept was like nothing, 3 months. We had our first proof of concept. From there to setting up production, iteration, everything, it was like a 3-year journey for us.
3 years, wow.
Yes. So, I mean, setting up production itself is a 1-year journey, 2 years for design. We did about 4 design iterations, 4 large design iterations.
Looking at the current generation and all, I mean, like everybody wants to finish everything in 3 months or 6 months. Nowadays, startups only look at 6 months. But 3 years is like, it takes a lot of patience, and like it takes a lot of other stigmas also. A lot of people do not support. Entrepreneurship itself is a very questionable thing in family, friends. Yeah. So Ghanshyam is also, I mean, like he also came up with one question. I mean, like precisely, my next question is also about that. So you have launched your product, and like what kind of problems are like bottlenecks you faced during the market? What was the target area or like target groups? How did you actually, what was the journey like?
So the validation that we go through is like, so you, like the methodology that we follow, that keep working on the highest risk and keep going down. So you should list down what is the highest risk that you have. Highest risk that at the start of the project that you will have is like, is this something which is a problem for a customer? That's the first thing. Next highest level, yes, once we have established that, yes, it is a problem for the customer. This is the customer going to pay so much, what we're going to ask for that. Next question would be like, are you in a position to probably produce it and deliver it? And next would be like, okay, how many? Broadly, like this is how we approached it. So our first problem was like, build a concept, meet 100 users, listen to the questions that they're asking. The questions that they ask is, what is the price? When will it be available? Good questions. Let's come back to them with a price. So we make a more refined product, make a spec sheet. It is not, and the spec sheet that we make is more like in theory. It's like, we will come to you with something like this. It will look like this, give a representation. It did not have anything in detail, but like a quick iteration so that we can go. And we had a price tag to it. We said, can we get 100 orders? Can we make with the price tag that we are putting it? We should ask for advance and they should pay some advance, and we will say we will deliver after 10 months. We don't have it ready, but you pay some advance, because that will then validate is the price that we're asking is correct. We met 40 users, 25 of them paid in advance. That gave us the confidence that, okay, no need to go till 100. Now that we have this 25 orders, we have paid for it. It makes sense. And what we also validated is like, when we went to the first customer, we asked, can you pay 1,000 rupee advance? Because we didn't know how much to ask. The price point was there. First 3 people paid. Next we asked 4,000. Next we had 18,000. Next we had 25,000. So people are paying and they're waiting. They're willing to wait for so much time. So that validated that yes, the price point, the product that we're offering and the price point that we're offering, people are paying advance. So that was good for us. Next was like set up production. Set up production in some way. So we did some quick methods, in not like some scalable way, but like in some way so that we're able to make these 25 units. The next question will be like, how big is the market? The question that as social entrepreneur that I have been asking myself and how we have approached it, how big is the market is a very difficult question. What I said, can I sell 100? And by selling 100, can I sustain? If that answer is like, by selling 100, we can sustain, let's first sell 100. In the process, we'll find out some other product, we'll do something. So our first model was like, bring the financials, the unit economics to a level whereby selling some minimal unit, we will sustain by some means. So that is how we approached this thing. Bottleneck wise, challenges wise, there are many challenges, but key areas where often we get stuck are these. Is the product required? Is the price work? Can we make it? Can we deliver it? And how big is the market? This is how we have done about it. And once we have reached this state, I think each one of us would have some confidence to figure out, okay, how to go from there. It's a challenge to often reach this point where we have made some 50 units and 100 units have delivered and taken a payment from the customer. I think taking that payment is extremely important, because without that, everybody is happy. The moment you take a payment, you have real feedback.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, like, that's actually everything.
Yeah.
That's actually everything. So
from there, scaling up is a different challenge. That's a different ballgame altogether. Then we shift gears and then we try to figure out what next, how can it reach. Many challenges will come, but if you're able to do it, no, we have like, it's like some basic 101 course which you have done, like, okay, if we do it, next iteration, next product, whatever we do, it will fall in place. It will fall in place.
Yeah. So wonderful. So during this entire process, I mean, like one design part and like checking with the market, validation, or like pricing, all these things. So is there any tool you have used, or like any process, or like I get it, like when you're explaining, it's a rational thought and like you take a feedback, come up with the numbers, understand the numbers. Yeah, very true. But like, is there any tool available, or like did you follow any tools?
So I mean, it's basically the design, test, learn cycle. I think Peter Thiel, any one of the books, whatever we read, I think all basically follow the same method. So structurally wise, you list your risks from top to bottom. Whatever is the highest risk, just work on that. See, at initial stages, again, I'll definitely state this with the caveat that fundamentally, like, what is the foundation, whatever we're doing, I want to solve this problem. I think that is the fundamental root that I should have. I should not be deviated by this, because people will come and say, how big is the market? Is this, can you sustain in this? Those are questions. If you keep, if you open your ears, then we'll not go anywhere. So first thing is, I will stick to this. I will spend 3 years of my time to this. I will not deviate from this for 3 years, whatever happens. Because only by spending some time, I will reach a conclusion. And after 3 years, I will very objectively question myself. Whatever I have done in 3 years, is it worth it? Should I continue or should I change? I'll do an MBA, I'll reset my life. I mean, I'm just saying, I had a backup like that. If something goes wrong, I'll do something like that. But then I said 3 years of commitment is required. Now, once first you have taken this, the next thing is list the highest risks that you can think of. biggest risk, need is there, market, all of that, as I said. And then you quickly do quick iterations about all this. And that's the cycle which everybody calls it. Like you design a test, you test it out, and then you learn from it. And as quickly you're able to do it, faster and better it is. I don't see any other structure apart from this which we have followed and which we do, at least in the initial stages. Yes.
So the deeper understanding you develop around your product, the more.
And quickly, iteration should be quick, as quick as possible. While I said like we've taken like
when you say quick, how many days or like
so it's like say everything like you think like, for example, today like we are doing a test that our products, we will be able to deliver food, we'll be able to do food deliveries with our product. I can sign up on Swiggy, Zomato, and we can do deliveries with that. So that is the hypothesis which we are doing, which we are testing right now. So what we do, in an ideal world, we'll go find a beneficiary. We will try to find a donor. What we do, we took our demo unit. My co-founder Siddharth, he sat on it. He downloaded Zomato. He signed up as a delivery boy on that. And he said, for 8 hours, I'll not move out of this wheelchair. I'll be sitting on this wheelchair for 8 hours. And for that 8 hours, he did like some 30 deliveries he did. And we observed all the things, that challenges, whatever we faced. But then it just gave us in a very crude way. It is not exactly the true representation, but in a very crude way, we are able to test it out. So anything and everything that we will do in a crude way, how can we do it? When it comes to design, like at least building hardware products, take whatever is available, whatever, or I'll give an example. When we built our first NeoBolt unit, we had to buy motor, we had to buy battery, we had to build structure. What we did, we took a two-wheeler, an electric vehicle two-wheeler, we cut it, we took the motor, we took the battery, everything is there in that. We just took it out, put them in place, have your first concept ready. So like this, some frugal innovation you apply, what is the fastest way you can test it? Because once you test it, then we can refine it. But the key challenge is, can we test the basic concept and verify it? And people, if you're developing an app or something, you just make drawings, like that's what it's taught over there. Like you make some basic sketches and drawings of what it will look like, and you meet people and then say, once they say yes, people do automation. Like in our front end, everything will be running automatically, but at the back end, one person will be sitting and doing everything in Excel. Well, it's okay. It gets you started. It helps you test. Later, you can always automate it. But the first thing is like, you don't spend all the time building a great product and then finally you see that no, it is not required.
Always reiterative. I mean, like checking with the market is something with you.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I have one more question regarding the market only. I mean, like your products are somewhere a little higher than the existing market products.
Yeah.
So how did you actually manage, or like how, I mean, like India market is like always price sensitive. We always like, it is always there. Even though it is 1 rupee product, also it is price sensitive. So how did you actually, what was the journey around that? And like, how did you position this higher prices? And like, how did you successfully could make a lot of sales?
Yeah. So it's a pyramid. It's a pyramid. At some it's like one pyramid like this. So which is higher price and the volume. At the higher price, your volume are less. At the lower price, your volumes are very high. We are somewhere. So for us, I mean, we are looking at long-term impact, and it is like we need products in multiple phases, multiple portfolios for multiple reasons. So as an approach for us, the price point at which our products are, it will not serve the masses. We are clear about it. And that is a separate product which we will be launching in due course of time. We started with a mid segment with a slightly, it's not a premium segment, it's like a mid segment price point product. What we're buying, it's like 95,000. You get a you buy a motorcycle for 70,000, 80,000 at similar price point. It's similar to a bike. A two-wheeler is a mid segment product. I mean, an 89,000 two-wheeler is a mid segment product. We started at this particular price point because whatever we do, we want to be first a very, very clear differentiator in anything that exists out there. For example, if there are 4 wheelchairs you put and our product is present over there, it should be very, very clearly different from it. The product should do the speaking, the product should do the job. I need not go and market it about it. The product should do the job. So we want to be very clear about that. We entered at a mid segment where we could offer multiple features, build a brand, and become an aspiring product. Anybody and everybody right now who knows of NeoMotion wants to buy the NeoMotion. And that's a product which is because we're able to offer that. The only challenge would be the pricing. It may not be affordable, but we have something ahead in the pipeline, which we'll be able to offer at a lower price. It's a range of products that will come. Why we started with the mid segment first? It lets you work with a focus group, understand their problem very nicely, address their issues and challenges very nicely, and come up with a solution and say that these are the things which are most required by the users. That is what they value most. Once we have this understanding, you just take the essentials out of it and put it in a mass market product. And the mass market product, your interaction with the consumer will reduce. It cannot be at this level with which what we are doing right now. We set up our production, we do everything, but we work in a smaller volume and we're able to very closely engage with the customer, learn from them. And based on this learning, the next set of products will come. If I take mass market right now, we have to spend heavily in infrastructure. We have to set up our distribution. We have to set up a lot of channels need to be set up. It is a too large a problem to solve. So we start with a smaller problem, work in a quality way, understand it, and then launch the next set of products. So it's more like a strategy. It's like how we phase out our products in our overall journey. So at this price point, we will not serve more than 2-3% of the overall population. What we have right now. It is a very limited, but it is a good start for us. It gives us a lot of quality engagement with the customers, understanding from them, understanding from their issues, improving our product, refine it, take the essentials out of it, put it in a mass market, and we'll be in a position to go out over there. I'll just further add a few examples. The first 100 products that will go out will have issues, will have multiple issues. How much ever we test, whatever we do, there will be challenges in that. You need to solve them. We need to solve them. And only when it is 100, you can work closely with this 100 and solve their issues. In the next 200, these issues will reduce. In the next 200, more or less, these issues will not be there at all. And that's how we have seen in our products. Imagine if we had a mass market product, we would have delivered 1,000 and 1,000 have issues. We won't be in a position to address them or solve them. So stagger it out so that effectively, you are learning yourself, you sustain, and then you sustain long enough so that you can cater to the larger market also.
So it is majorly like strategy which you have chosen, and then quick reiteration and like quick getting back on the pricing and everything. Wonderful. So I have still like so many questions to ask actually, but we are actually having very little time, and this time participants are also having lot many questions. So if you want to add anything, I have few more questions, but like I don't want to take them. But maybe you can add whatever feel like value addition for this session, and then we'll take participants questions.
Sure. I think one very important point, I think the key topics I think we have covered, whatever I had listed. So the one, like as we are designing anything, be it a product, be it a service or whatever, I think what is, it's within the team and overall as a holistic organization also, what is important is to keep in mind that different individuals, different segments have different requirements and different points of view. So for me, like if I'll just say that within NeoMotion team, there are 4 of us who are sitting and we are discussing. Somebody says weight is important. Somebody says aesthetics is important. Somebody says, no, it should be over here. Somebody says, no, distance is more important. Price is important. Everything is important. And you will always be constantly juggling between all these different aspects. It is very important that we understand that each one of them, different people come from different point of view, and each one of those point of views are important and needs to be respected. But collectively as a team, we need to be able to prioritize them, and primarily from the view of the customer. Within the team, we may think so all of that is okay, but finally everything from the point of view of a particular customer. In that aspect, it becomes important that we are able to put different customers in some buckets and different segments. Like if I take for our customer segment, if I take elderly is one segment, elderly in urban segment and elderly in rural is another segment. Now, if in terms of physical disability, wheelchair users, there are segmentation based on what is the diagnosis. Is it because of amputation? Is it because of spinal cord injury? Is it because of polio? Is it because of the age? So there are multiple segmentation that are possible. In the beginning, it becomes very difficult and confusing what to focus on. If by some means you're able to find out that one small segment, it's not a large segment, your large segment is like there is all of these can be your consumer, but you pick a very, very small portion. This one particular segment, I think, is what is recepting to my product very well. If we are able to identify that group, work very closely with them and work only for them, so that your focus is crystal clear. For us, spinal cord injury in some age group has been a very good segment for us. They react very well to our requirements. Our products, the receptivity is good. There are other segments also where the products are there, but we have worked very closely with this particular segment to take it out there. Once you do it, you have some point. Then you can gradually think and look at how to probably look at every other requirement. But that segmentation, if you're able to achieve early on, it is better because it avoids confusion. There is clarity, and we work with a much better focus.
Thank you. Yeah, Swostik. I mean, like whatever is left out is covered now. More of the market and like pricing part. So we will get back to this participants question. So the first question is, Shubham, you can write to Shubham is asking about how can I connect with Swostik. So Shubham, you can write a mail for the same and like, we'll connect you to Swostik. You already have few mails, and depending on your requirement, we can actually connect you personally. No. So Sai Prasad is actually asking about, can you please share your product development journey from idea to manufacturing? So do you want to take?
So so first was like, how did you even come up with the concept? It was part of a so somewhere you need some start. Like for example, we narrowed down that assistive technology is our focus. We will work on this. The first thing was with a very, very open-ended, open canvas. You just go meet different people, different stakeholders. You give yourself some time. For 2 months or 1 month, I am going to meet 200 users. I'm not going to draw any conclusion here and there. Every time I go and I meet. Based on that understanding and based on some learning, you find an opportunity and a gap. Like based on your skill, whatever is the product that you want to build, based on those maybe 1 or 2 months of research, actually going and meeting users, you identify the gap and you come up with okay, these are the 2-3 problems that you think if it is solved, there is a burning requirement at the user end. Once you've identified this, quickly prototype it in some way based on a service or a hardware or a software, whatever you're building. Easiest way to represent it, easiest way to represent 50-60% of it. Take that. You already have interacted with users. From those users, you would say, but these are the 50 people whom I think would like this, would be interested in a product like this. You go to those 50 users and you see what they are saying, to what they're speaking about, whatever is the prototype that you have built. Work closely with them to validate that, and then take it to the next stage of build something, put a price tag to it, validate it, and then collect that advance. I think that is very important. That is the only and true validation of whether it will work or not. Maybe at times you may not be in a position to, because for us it's a physical product. It's like it's a one-time transaction, so you offer it. Maybe if you're offering a software as a service or something else, which has got a longer duration, you ask them that use it for a month, and then after 1 month you go back to them. How has been your experience? From this month onwards, we would like to charge something nominal for you because you have been using the service, and see what is the reaction over there. All of this is under the assumption that by doing a particular service, you want to generate a sale out of it. Unless you're a product like WhatsApp or Facebook, where your sale generation is through different means, that's a different strategy. I'm saying under this, you're directly engaging with for the service that you're offering, you're asking return for that. What we did, so we followed this. Then, I mean, ours was a hardware thing, so it's more like building, prototyping. Basically, 4 iterations have happened for us. I don't know specifically the area that you're working on, so I don't want to get into the mechanical design details. If that's required, we can discuss, but briefly, this is the journey.
Thank you, Swostik. And same, Sai Prasad is actually asking for, you have been spending, I mean, like product development for 3 years. So did you had any support of grant or like anything?
Absolutely. We have been running through grants. Any single competition, design prize, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10,000, 50,000. We just go out, apply for all of them. It requires a lot of funding support. So we have been operating through grants. We are in the kind of space which is first is a social enterprise, whatever we call it. It's a hardware. Conventional funding has not worked in this particular sector. We didn't want to go and try out. By operating through grant is slow, but it's all right. It basically, we started with the concept that we will sell 100 units. After that, we will do any fundraising. We have done better than that. Grant supports are required. You have to definitely plan your funding appropriately.
Next question is from Sridevi. So what kind of maintenance and service problems you have encountered for this product?
Yeah. Anything and everything, parts breaking to charger blowing off to falling down from the product to everything that you can think of. So all of them is like, see, some of them are like, so to address it, if a problem is there, is it a training problem? Is it a design problem? Is it a durability problem? You have to get back to, we try to anticipate as much as possible and try to address it. But as you face it, the next question is like, how do we address it so that it doesn't repeat in future? But I think the most important thing is at that point of time, we are working with very limited customers without doing anything, just replace the parts. Something has gone up, just replace it. Keep them in good spirits, because they are the ones who are helping you initially by believing in you when you are new, you are an unknown brand, and paying for that. So I think that is the cost which we need to take and ensure that anything that goes wrong, just take care of it.
Yeah. So my friend Sintu is actually asking for one question. So the key aspects or like factors while you are actually designing or like establishing a social enterprise. So he wanted to listen from you about your practical experience. Like, what are the main factors you have considered and constantly work on?
So for us, it's like, I think the social enterprise aspect is very simple. The social enterprise aspect is the choice of the area itself first defines that what is there. Second is like, you want to operate in the premium segment or we want to operate in the underserved segment. We have taken the entire portfolio. We don't want to be playing catching up by serving the one which has not been done. We also want to be, like, for example, the products that are available in the Western countries, in the US countries are advanced, and we are trying to play catch up with them. So there is one line of work which is going on. We also bring out the best out there. The second line of work is like, there are so many underserved segment where no work is happening. That also needs to happen. So we are working on both these things. So we have kept our portfolio from top to bottom, and we entered at a midpoint. We don't want to be completely swayed away by the top or the bottom. So enter at a midpoint and swear so that you are connected to the top and bottom, and you leverage your all the design, engineering, production, after sales, marketing that you use this entire thing to just churn out more and more products meeting these different requirements. Factors wise, once we do the choice of space, and if we are picking a section which is presently not served, and we can contribute to that, I think so that foundation we should not delete, right? As simple as that. Yeah. In between, there are a lot of people who came, why don't you start making e-bikes? Why don't you we can do many things. But then we thought that, yes, there are others who will do it. As of now, nobody is working on this. Let us solve in first place what we have started with, and we will take other opportunities that will come along, but there is enough to be done here.
Yeah, we understand. So focus is something which is very, very important, actually. Yeah. So the next question is from Kishi. So is patenting relevant for hardware entrepreneurs? Does it act as any security or just a checkbox?
I don't know the answer, but you should patent it. Okay. So whether it acts as a security, whether it will be a checkbox, it may not act as a security. It may be a checkbox, but you should patent it. It improves your credibility at multiple platforms. At multiple platforms, it is helpful. And you would go in future for raising your funds from somewhere, be it equity, be it debt, be it anything. Everybody wants an assurance. Anybody who partners with you needs an assurance. Unfortunately, there is no better means of assurance than this. I have learned that intellectual property laws and implementation are better here, are improving, are better than the other laws. So I have not encountered anything specifically though. I don't have any experience, but it should be done. If not anything, it improves your value. If not anything, it improves it.
Correct. So one little philosophical question from Chazia Nurin. So what is that key driving factor or like force to become you like social entrepreneur or entrepreneur? What is that drives every day?
Oh yeah. So I mean, solving challenging problems, I think now that's just the thing. Everything is a problem. Production is a problem. Design is a problem. So now it has reached that stage that it is there. For us, see, it's like, if I have to break it down, there are just two things of which how I keep myself rooted. Rooted is like the kind of work that I do is something which is of it interests me. It's something which I like. Be it design, be it problem solving, coming up with a strategy or a method of how to solve and address this problem. So anything that, what are the areas of interest to me, I work on those areas. That is fundamentally what is keeps me going. Like I spend immense hours working on different problems, but all these problems are in areas that interest me. So that's the first thing. Second thing is more like something which I have taken as a stance. Like for the next 10 years at least, I'm not, I mean, initially I took like the 3-year goal. I took the 3-year goal that for these 3 years, I'm not going to question it. So similarly, presently, I'm in a 10-year journey. I'm in 1 year in that journey. For the next 9 years that lie ahead of me, I'm not going to question this particular field. I'll work in this field, which gives a positive impact. So that's a call that I have taken. So ensuring that, yeah, I mean, I have some direction on which I have taken a commitment, and by working on areas which really interest me, by ensuring that these two, it keeps me driving and no second thoughts.
Yeah, Swostik, I mean, like that is always required, I guess. Recently, I have been observing many social entrepreneurs, and I strongly feel nowadays ki naivety is also one of the parameters for becoming a social entrepreneur, I guess.
Yeah.
Somewhere we are little naive to become that passionate social entrepreneur. So it's been very recent observation from my interactions with many social entrepreneurs. And
So
definitely,
I mean, we should be like, so for example, when we do, so I think one element we talked about price. I think a financial sustainability is extremely important. Only if we survive for 20 years, 30 years, whatever work we are doing will have any impact. I think in the first place, that has to be fundamentally clear. However we are driving our organization, however we are driving our work, we need to ensure that it is financially sustainable. If anything, like it may grow, it may not grow, but it should sustain. That is the first level that we should be able to reach and achieve. And
yeah,
making money is not bad. Okay, making money is not bad because it comes to the company, and the company uses it for some good purpose for which it is there to grow. As long as we have that clarity, don't let us not feel bad that, like for example, we are charging 95,000. There are users who need it and who will not be in a position to afford it. We brought in financing. You pay 3,000 rupees per month and pay for an 18 months period. We solve the same problem by a different means. We don't have financing right now. We're making it more lucrative. I don't have a job. On today's date, I don't have a job. I will get financing. You come use this product to earn your daily livings by doing food deliveries or something, or that also we are setting up. We are setting up those platforms. You come and you do food deliveries. You earn whatever is required. Like in a day, by doing this, you'll be able to earn 900 rupees, maybe about 1,500 rupees. Per day, you pay us 200 rupees so that we are able to pay back. So the problem is like, let's not take, reducing the price will not solve the problem. Reducing the price will make us bankrupt and we'll close. Very simple. Okay. So find out methods and ways and means by which it makes sense. There is a business case out of it, and it is able to go and it will sustain. So there's something which we can do. Now, for example, so the idea is like, because of all this, for it to scale, we know that price is important. So now it is like this: you are not employed, nothing to worry. You come, you do this job.
Yeah.
You do this job, you start earning. the ecosystem grows, our products will naturally be sold in the process. So by facilitating that, it will help us. So now it has taken us time to find and arrive at this, but the key is to let us not financial sustainability is important. That's what I wanted to say.
Wonderful. Yeah, thanks, Swostik. And lastly, I have we are almost yeah time. It's already time. So I just want to ask you two things. It's like it's been like 2016. You have started this journey, and today it's like 2022. It's been many years.
Yes.
Like you, if you give it a chance, I mean, like you would have started with something. I mean, like something as a driving factor, driving force, a product or anything. So today, if you give a choice, key you restarted everything again. So what is that you want to change? Is there anything like that?
Yeah. We have made our product too complex. That's what I would say. That's one thing which I keep thinking that, like, because when you're doing the design and product for the first time, when you're doing the design for the first time, it's every single thing that is required. I mean, the user delight is paid so much importance that it is good. I mean, in fact, it is very good, but we would have done it in a slightly different way to ensure that the production hassles and everything after that are slightly better. But apart from that, I think it's been great. What benefit? I also say that being a naive also helps in some ways, because you do things in some extremes which otherwise you would not do, and by doing it, you learn many things which you would also otherwise not do. So certain offerings that we have, which I don't think anybody would do conventionally, like doing remote assessment of wheelchair users, be it anywhere in the country or the world, something which we have developed because we wanted to do it differently. So yeah, so that's all right, I think. Yeah.
So the reducing complexity of the product is something you want to.
Yeah. Something. It's basically always this thing between a scale and the offering, what we want to do. So yeah.
So last question for the session today, Swostik.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's great to learn from you, and like you have been sharing your experiences and like especially about the product and like details of it. It's wonderful. I mean, like it is very. I mean, like 1 hour is very short time to understand everything. We always get it. So, however, a lot of participants do also have a lot of questions. We try to connect these participants with you or a mail or like over a call, so as it suits and like as it is relevant. And as last question of the session, so what is that here, like we have a lot of founders, co-founders, CEOs, and like head of the departments. So these kind of participants are being here. So what is that you want to take away from this session?
I think two things I would probably say. I think that persistence and grit is very important. At least if we are into social enterprise, some time we have to give, because otherwise it becomes difficult to focus. We are anyway solving a challenging problem. At that point, let us not start in questioning ourselves of what we are doing and why we are doing. Should we be doing it right now? What should happen? So that some period we have to give. Like we should say that next 6 months, next 12 months, whatever is comfortable to you. I think that is required. And we need to keep maintaining that. That's first. The second most important thing, be very conscious of changes that are happening around you. Don't be very keep adapting, keep changing as and when required. Because we started it, we should not stick to it. I mean, I'm not saying that today you do this, tomorrow do some another thing. Like today you had a design, but you know that it is not efficient. It needs to change. If we do a change, it will improve. So do it, and do it as fast as possible. Do it as quickly as possible. These are the two things that I would be my mantras, I would say, for a lack of better word. Yeah.
So it's been really nice. I mean, like you have actually gave us a lot of inputs. I mean, like, the questions are very diverse. I know it is very. So you try to actually give everything to our participants. So in the last, I mean, like if you want to add anything, you can please add, or like you can actually say bye to all the participants.
No, I see a lot of questions in the chat box. Maybe we have answered some, maybe we have answered not. They can be shared. I can I can just type it out, or I can just record a video. I can say it. It'll be easier for me, and then I can share, and that can be shared with users. So that will be there. Yeah, I mean, all the best. First of all, anybody who is a social entrepreneur, See, I mean, we are here for maybe 80 years or 100 years. We don't know. So that's all that we have got here. So if you find meaning in doing something where you are happy, I think there are many noise that will keep happening around. Don't bother about these things. If fundamentally you want to see, okay, this is how I've spent my time, and it has been great. What you have done is meaningful to you. That is, keep that as the focus. Everything else will just pass.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for Swostik to be here, and like this is like formally thanking you for the session. And we look forward for your inputs and further more sessions and all. And obviously, our participants are definitely interested to reach out to you. We'll connect you there. And for the participants also, I just want to put a last note. We are actually tentatively looking at February 19th as SC Impulse as an event, so for which Swastik is also invited as as a mentor and like as a social entrepreneur story sharing. And you people can check with our website. You already know our website, so please look into that and make our event very successful. If you have any questions relevant to that event or SC Impulse, what is that, and like you can always reach out to us. And you already know Parvati been mailing you and reaching out to you, so you can always reach out to Parvati. So yeah, in a whole, thank you so much, Swastik. Thank you, dear all participants.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day.